The origins of chaos are here. So what are our top decks for July 2026 National Season and Chaos Origins? Make sure you guys smash the like and crap out of that Angelecki button so you guys don't miss out on more on us content. I think Angelecki has become the most varianted engine in modern era times, and honestly, I think this is cool. This is one of the cases we get to see a TCG exclusive archetype smashing into the meta, and it actually seems very, very innovative. And honestly, to the players that want to, build this into every other synchro pile you can, I've seen some really cool variants already being discussed, like a White Forest variant, for example, Elf Notes, Cool Tunes. Every synchro deck that is able to build this is looking to give this a shot. And I think that's really, really cool. And I appreciate the fact that innovations are coming together. And obviously, this sets up the origins of chaos for your new meta. And that's exactly what we wanted to see. So I'm sure you guys want to hear a little bit more about the top meta, but I got to talk about one of the top gaming chairs that we have in our office to prep us for our play testing. And it is none other than, look at this amazing chair. This is the Ewin Flash XL style chair. Has full reclinability, actually handles up to 550 pounds, and we go all the way down here, and yes, we have full control on our sway. Our handles, which by the way, these come off, these are fully adjustable, they go up and down, they do everything that you want a gaming chair to be able to do. Now, we have a good couple of these. This is a brand that we have been very, very comfortable with for quite a little while, and discount code will be down below for you guys to check out if you are interested in picking up one of these. They also have, if you don't like white, trust me, some of the other color schemes might be a little bit better for your style and for what you might want to be doing. We also have full reclinability on this as well, and we have lumbar support here on the side, which is going to be a major help for your back. Trust me, as a gamer, you want all of the great conveniences that you can get, and Ewin will bring that for you. So I'll leave a link down below so you guys can check that out, and I'll return back to the meta. Which brings us to Elf Note. Now, Elf Note is in a precarious situation. The only new thing that Elf Note has got was June Pride, which is a fantastic card. Don't get me wrong. I think June Pride gives this deck a lot more consistency, but there's also the fact that Elf Note's kind of looking to explore the Angelecki stuff. I've seen a couple variants popping up where you're building the Angelecki stuff, and you're dedicating 5 to 6 cards in your extra deck to the Angelecki engine to be able to kind of give this deck a new form of variation. But that's exactly what this is. Pure Elf Note is still up and running and still doing wonderfully. But then there's the conversation of now we can extend the archetype even further with the control options that Angelecki gives you. And you know what? I think that's fine. Elf Note needed a little bit more gas to be able to get things off of the ground. And I think we're seeing that right now. Which brings us to good old Power Patrons, the pile. So you're going to notice, where did Artmage and where did Doom Z kind of go? I think wholeheartedly that they're still here. I think underneath the Gios of, the Power Patron stuff, though, I think Elf Note's the one that gets the biggest boost out of this set, while, the Power Patron pile itself kind of evolves with the new Link 2. And obviously, having the deck have more consistency is kind of the job, right? You want this stuff to be able to come more together and be able to, just become a better pile overall, and I think it's exactly what we got here. But yeah, I would still be very aware that the Power Patron pile exists, and it is still sitting in the back of the room. Whether or not we're going to see some positive or negative evolutions towards this will be left to be seen. And we left Malice here. It's crazy to me that Malice is even considered a top contender. I wanted to toss this deck into Rogue, but just by looking at tournament data coming from the first event, there was a lot of Malice. Like, it'd be a difference of like 1, and then you got 2, 3, 4. You got 5 potential Malice decks in a top 32 running around. And then, more players just choosing to play it. Honestly, I'm kind of shocked by that conversion. Malice itself, I think the real thing that this deck has going for it is it's like the only deck in the room that just gets to abuse Dominance Impulse and Spark. And, we're not the OCG. We still have Triple Impulse. So we actually get to abuse kind of the craziness that comes with that. And I think that's an important thing to consider, is those control cards are absurdly OP and do some broken stuff. Which brings us to dear old Sky Striker. Sky Striker is a deck that you now get the pot of going second. Your fun time to go second is a little bit better. And also, just if you got to go first, just board in the Heat Waves, draw the Heat Wave plus linkage, and you'll just have a good game every single time because you'll have a monster to be able to control the opponent. Your opponent's going to look at you in absolute disgust. And I mean, like, that, honestly, that's the experience. How are you summoning on a Heat Wave? Heat Wave, chain linkage, send the Heat Wave special monster, Heat Wave resolves. Haha, congratulations. I don't know why I have to explain that, but that tends to be an actual issue that comes up with these things. So, yes, Sky Striker is still a very competitive deck. Chalice, Forbidden cards are extremely good in this deck. Being able to just linkage things. So a lot of times I'm not seeing this deck OTK right now, and I'm not surprised by that. The Spellcaster Slop pile, Regulus, the Fairy Tale monsters. I guess Super Poling with the Conflux is now extremely good because now it's a Spellcaster plus a non-Spellcaster monster, so you can turn any of your Spellcaster monsters into a literal Super Poly target to be able to chomp up on the opponent's field. And I guess that's worth mentioning, right? Like, Conflux gives this deck some new life. Obviously, indirectly, I don't think you got anything too crazy for the Spellcaster slot pile. But in terms of this deck's high ceiling and playing into it, Mind Shovel has a pretty okay matchup into the deck. I guess that's not necessarily true. Any deck that goes first into the deck right now probably is going to have a good time, because it feels like the deck struggles going second. Maybe that's just me, but it seems to be the downside with the Spellcaster slot pile right now, is just it's going second game. Then we have Mitsurugi. Why is Mitsurugi even being discussed right now? So we got Corrupted Ritual Records, or Ragged Ritual Record, whatever the English name is. We've got a little bit of an extra consistency upgrade for the deck. But Rizal Mitsurugi's kind of coming back into the spotlight because, Detonator is kind of a stupid card, man. Plus, let's call it what it is. You're able to set up a decently consistent field with Mitsurugi. I mean, being able just to have the rituals turning. It's the same thing that we have seen every single time that these lists tend to come out, and it's just right now Rizal and Mitsurugi tend to be the two combination piles that are just working together to create the best tandem that we can get. So I'm not necessarily surprised to still see Mitsurugi doing its thing. Now, I left Branded in the top 3 because, honestly, we're getting the illusion that we're going into a triangle format. Branded into Cool Tune is not it's a grindy matchup. Like, it'll hurt your head. It's a lot of... Branded generates a lot more advantage, while Cool Tune kind of just... Once Cool Tune's out of its advantage, kind of gets slammed apart. And also, Conflux just makes this deck better as well. Just like the Fairy Tale Spellcaster Slop deck got a new Super Poly target, so did you! You can now fuse your Blazing Cartesia with anything that the opponent has on their field, because congratulations, you have access to a Spellcaster monster to be able to Super Poly vacuum up. And that's exactly what your deck needed. We needed that consistency to really be able to shine. But I mean, overall, it's fine. We just kind of expected this to be developing. And then Mind Shuffle. I think Yugi's new deck is definitely worthy of being, I would say, the second best deck in the room. Now, once again, triangle format, you're going to be playing into this a lot more, and you're going to be realizing as things go on. I mean, there are a lot of good counterplays to Mind Shuffle. You know, Ghost Ogering the cutoff Droll and Lockbird on the resolution of Mind Shuffle when the skull is Chainlink 1, so they won't get the ad off of that. Ghost Spell to stop the ritual from recurring itself back. There's a lot of good hand trap cards that exist to stop this deck from massively overturning a lot of things, and that's kind of an important thing to think about as we're kind of heading on into this, you know, bigger meta towards this. But right now, yes, Mind Shuffle is still a very, very good deck. I think the players that will learn the extremely niche interactions and the players that fine-tune the deck with the tech choices will be the most successful with this deck. And then we have Cool 2. I mean, this hasn't really changed, right? In terms of Cool 2's dominance in the format, it's slowly getting pushed down, and it's because the other decks are slowly climbing their way up towards Cool Tune. Mind Shuffle and Branded are both excellent decks to play into this. And it's also not like Cool Tune's really as broken as it seems. I mean, the deck not having Rose Whip is really a lot slower now, and you know, than it was months ago. And that's fine. It's just, you know, at minimum, you're going to have to play around 2 Cool Tune Synchros, maybe some back row, but there are some decks that have enough gas to be able to do that. So that's how our meta's looking right now. Isn't it wonderful? Leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.